This idea that voting for Democrats, though democracy's on the ballot, democracy hasn't been on the ballot since 1980, okay? Your government was taken from you by corporations decades ago, and when are people going to get pissed off about that? The guys on January 6th weren't overthrowing the government. They were just protesting an election, just like the other half of the country protested for 4 years and said another country stole our election. They were saying it was stolen by people, and they say, they're trying to that's Cornel West came on my show, and he said, they were trying to overthrow the government and upset the peaceful transfer of power. Really, a bunch of Second Amendment gun nuts wanted to go overthrow the government, and they forgot their guns. Isn't that weird? Oh, I thought I'd written it down: mittens, water. I forgot the guns. So and now look what they're doing. So they're criminalizing their political opponents. That's what they're doing to Trump. They know he's going to win the election, so they're going to make him a criminal. And that's what January 6th was about. That's why there were so many FBI agents in the crowd, and they pushed those people into the Capitol so they can set up this narrative, and they could and now they're using the RICO statute to prosecute Trump. A RICO statute which was invented to go after the mafia. Not only are they using it against their political opponents, Donald Trump, they're also using it against the people who are protesting Stop Cop City. So it doesn't matter if you're Donald Trump or if you're a lefty protesting the expansion of the police state, they're going to use the same RICO laws to go after you because the establishment criminalizes their opponents, and no matter if he comes from the right or the left, and that's the game that's being played, and I'm trying to wake people up to that. And not that I'm going to vote for Trump or I'm a Trump fan, but I can notice what they're doing to him, they're going to do to anybody who stands up against the establishment. That's the game now. That's what they did to Lula. That's what they did in Pakistan. That's what they do that. So there's, the whole world, and I hope you guys know that it's only run by a handful of billionaires, right? And there is no loyalty to a country. The people who, just like Ned Beatty said in that movie Network in 1974, there are no countries. There's only companies and the international flow of dollars, and you can't upset that international flow of dollars. And if you do, you have to atone. And that's where we're at. These guys don't care what happens to America. They'll fund a war everywhere in the world before they fix the pipes or fix the infrastructure or give health care or education to anybody in the United States. And that's because we're run by globalists like Bill Gates. Bill Gates, who runs the WHO, right? So he's the biggest funder of the WHO. It goes China and then Bill Gates. So now I can't go on YouTube and contradict the WHO, and that's coming direct from Bill Gates. So he has a monopoly on information flow, and that's the real game being played right now. It's not about countries. It's about a handful of billionaires at the WEF, guys like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. They're running everything, and the people in Congress are just doing the bidding of those people. And that's why when Matt Gaetz stands up and says something, it shakes the world, and they have to make it seem like it's bad instead of what it actually is, a real revolution that we need.
Jimmy, I always wonder why you hold back your feelings. Like, why do you you should let her rip? You know what I'm saying? You should let her rip. Go ahead, Tim.
Do you guys see what they're doing to Trump in New York City now?
It's horrible.
This fraud lawsuit. I'll give you the breakdown of my prediction. The first thing, the judge summarily rules that Trump overvalued his properties. It's clearly not true because Mar-a-Lago is not worth $18 million. That's crazy. From the ocean to the lagoon, Mar-a-Lago, it's 17 and a half acres in an area where 0.3 goes for $10 million. And they're saying 17. No, it's a lie. But here's the game. You summarily decree Trump's properties are worth less than he declared. Therefore, he committed fraud. Now, the trial is, did Trump falsify records? Well, if they've already determined that his $500 million property is only worth $50 million, any record he created asserting the value of that property, or a bank did, they're going to say is falsified, therefore fraud. They're going to rule that Trump is found liable for fraud against the state of New York. They're then going to say, you now have to pay us $250 million. We'll start with that building on Fifth Avenue that you claim was worth $500 million. It's worth $5 million. You now owe us $245 million. What I think they're going to do is, by arguing his buildings are worthless, they can seize them in the lawsuit while making him basically drain the entirety of his net worth. So the reason I bring this up is you mentioned the billionaires ruling the world. They're trying to make Trump not a billionaire anymore.
Right.
They're to destroy his assets, destroy the part of the prosecution is not necessarily to put him in jail, though I do think they want him there. They want to drain his resources, time, and energy so he can't campaign.
That's what they did to Ralph Nader, right? They kept him off the ballot, and they kept him spending money on lawyers and being in court, and so he couldn't really run for president. Can I ask you about maybe you probably know more about it than me. So this deal that they're trying to prosecute him on now. So they said he inflated the value of his building so he could get a loan, right? So he got the loan. He's paid it back. The people who gave him the loan made money off that loan. There is no aggrieved party. There's no victim here. Am I right about this?
I think what they're trying to do is exploit the fact that the people in New York struggle to own property. And I mean this. I'm not trying to be mean to the people of New York who can't afford to buy. But for those who've never been through the process of buying property, it may sound like it makes sense. Oh, Trump claimed his building was worth more than it really was, so the banks would give him more money. No. When you try to buy property, the bank tells you to shove it. Yeah. We're going to appraise the property and tell you if you're and see, because we have our own responsibilities to our bank members. The idea that Donald Trump went to the bank and said, this $10 million property, it's actually $100 million. Give me $100 million. And they'd be like, sure thing, buddy. We'll believe you. And then we'll hold on to a dead asset that's worthless. No, never going to happen. And on top of that, the judge ignored testimony from the lenders who said, not only are these properties worth what they're worth, but we made a lot of money from it and we're happy.
Yeah.
And now the funniest thing is, when the judge ruled Mar-a-Lago was only worth $18 million, I just imagine what it must be like being a real estate agent in Palm Beach, because now you've got people coming up to you and being like, "No, Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million." That means that $30 million property trying to sell is only worth $300,000. Yeah, right, dude.
And have you seen that? Have you guys seen that judge? What was it Arthur Angoran? He, first of all, you want to? I think Rob has it. The camera, they're showing Trump, and you just see Trump just in anger, furious mode. And then Jimmy, the camera goes to the judge. He takes off his glasses and he's like, he's posting. Did you see that video?
Yes.
And then he's on another longer video where they clip where he says verbatim, he goes, I know this is going to be controversial because I know I'm being recorded, but he goes, if there's a jury, even though this isn't a jury case, this is who he is as a character. He goes, listen, if I'm in a case and the jury doesn't agree with me, I can make my own decision, overrule them on my emotions. Rob, can you show this clip? Pat, is that cool?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go ahead. Listen to this guy.
Taped. Juries get it wrong a lot. That's my own opinion. I do only civil trials, personal injury cases, contract disputes. But I've had situations where, like, oh my heaven's sake, how could they have thought that?
The judge.
Well, I have a tool that I can deal with that. It's called judgment notwithstanding the verdict. I can say there is no possible way that a reasonable jury would have reached that conclusion.
Think about it. That's the judge. And then
he's not wrong though.
No, he's not wrong.
Judges can do this.
100%. But I mean, like, how is it fair if that's the judge? And then Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, she has said in an interview, she was like, I have no personal vendetta against Trump. I never campaigned against him. And guess what? There's a whole long footage of her over and over and over campaigning against him, talking crap about Trump in the streets. So it's like, it's not fair.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.